Alrighty, guys. So it's 3:30 this Tuesday, August 18, and it's time to wrap it up for today. So right now it looks like we're just twisting in the wind, um, not going anywhere directionally. We started off this morning thinking short side of the market, given the overnight. So we're looking to sell strength up to this level here, the 77.60 so far. Not much happening on that guy. Not much strength to sell against at all, but they didn't take it a whole lot lower either. They kind of stalled here at the 77.15, right at this resistance area. So right here, they tested the support. I ran it a little bit lower, stalled, and now they're sitting there, not able to take it lower. Now, I'm just thinking the overnight may be able to bust through to the downside, but so far, nothing happening in the day session. And if they hold this line, there could be a nice retest failure setting up here for rotation right back up again. So we'll see if this is a one-off weakness, running it down here, flirting with the lows, since they couldn't take it higher in this distribution. And they're down here testing the lows. And you can see here, we were up here at the highs yesterday, and now we're down at the lows. So we'll see. It could be the start of a bigger retracement to the downside, or it could just be a retest that is low and then retracement back up here towards the attractor at 70. So if they can't take it lower, I would look for a retracement back to the 70s. And if they do take it lower, I would just stay on the short side. So that's kind of the dynamic. No trades on the ES for me so far today. I did take a couple of trades on the NASDAQ. You saw that. And on the way down here, I had the first trades I took was down here at the when they started taking out, they retested here the initial balance low. I took a long trade there, and they basically retested the low. And that was a small trade, yeah, $6. I tried another long trade here at the end when they started taking it slow, a little bit aggressive on the first entry. I repaired it right here at the edge. And these guys, look at that. They flat out low ticked me on the Nasdaq. That is like not almost unheard of. Usually they run over you, but no, they just run down there and hit my stop, and then look at it, right, reverse right back up against that. Very frustrating. That could have been a great trade, but we knocked out at a loss, so that was that. Tried a short trade on the pullback, and that reverse retest didn't work. Took a little bit higher than I thought, and then they ran it down. So that could have been a scratch, but turned out into be two losers in a row. Kind of stopped there. I did try one short trade up here. That was a scratch. They got to break even and knocked me out. I tried one more short trade. That was in the last update. I tried a short trade here on the pullback. And that again, look at that. That was a beautiful short trade here, going down all the way down here. And then I thought I had a pretty good thing going there. And then they retraced it all the way back up and then some, stopped me out. And then they took it lower. That's shaking my head. So this time I got kind of pissed off about it. It's like, you know what? And you know, when you get to like an emotional reaction like that, it's like, you know what? I'm not going to stop trading it. So that's what I did. There's no point of sitting in there trying to trade after you get something like that happening. Like first a low tick and then one of those things happening. Like, are you kidding me? So that's how trading for you, you know. And this was a good, like, what is that? It was a 615 down to the 590. So it's like a 25-point trade to the down, 100 ticks to the downside, and then straight back up again. It's like, it's unbelievable. And when it does that, you just have to kind of take a step back and not do anything. So anyway, but Nasdaq, same story there. They're back in this lower range again, and they haven't really taken it all the way down. They could certainly do that before we find some good support, because right now they're kind of in the middle of the range. But definitely a pretty good risk-off day today, that's for sure. So I would start from the short side on both ES and Nasdaq. Looking to sell strength for rotations down. Now, if the Nasdaq start retracing past this area, the London low, the London the 780s would be the London high. Not quite the London high, but this distribution on the London session where the day session started, and it looks like a pretty good resistance area. If they start retracing past that, I would start thinking maybe a retracement is on its way. Otherwise, I would look for short setups against the 630s, the 680s, 720s up to that 770s for rotations down. On the ES, same story there. I would look for shorts against the 730s and the 745s. I'm going to adjust these edges a little bit based on what's happened. So, but anything above this area right there, the 745s, I would look for a retracement trade to the upside. So there you have it on the ES and the Nasdaq. But I'm down $100 on the Nasdaq. I had a couple of opportunities, you know, well, two break-even trades here at the end, but the slop and the churn is just not able to sit in it. Even with good trade location, this was a great trade location, just not didn't work out. So Just tell it. And sometimes, when you take your profit early on a move like that, you take your profit early. That would have been right there. Then it would have been a. Then it would have been a. They just well. Sometimes when you take it early, they just keep it going, and that's to run it down like that, and you just left the money on the table. When you don't, they run up here and take you out. So that's it's nothing personal. It's just how the market operates, even if it feels pretty personal at the time. So bond market, nice retracement on that guy. Nice retracement. So they're back up again. Yields coming down as the tad, but they definitely retraced a little bit. Let's see if they can hold it. Now, if they trade below this area, the 108.12s, we're back on the short side. Otherwise, I would look for a little bit more strength in the overnight, see how they can take it higher. But overall, it's like a steady grind to the downside on the bond. So overall, I would favor the short side, even if I would look for shorts against the strength right now. It doesn't look like they're breaking higher or moving higher. It looks more like a technical retracement, or maybe a Fed support to hold up the prices or hold up the prices and keep the rates artificially low. That won't work for long, so we'll see how it goes. That's pretty much it, guys. So I will be back to the ES and the Nasdaq. Nothing to say about the cryptos. I haven't done anything on those today, but let's see how this goes going into the overnight. ES looks pretty strong in terms of holding the line. Nasdaq not so much, but if they can hold it and maybe see a little bit of retracement, that would be good. Otherwise, the bias is to the downside. So I would favor the short side to get started on both of them. And we know when to change our bias. Alrighty, guys, we'll wrap it there. So I'll see you guys back bright and early in the morning. You guys have a great evening, and I'll see you back then. Later.